My name is Pj Catalano. I'm a master model builder here at Legoland California Resort. I've been working at Legoland California for 8 years now, and I absolutely love it. I can't think of doing anything else. I love my work. I love physically building Lego. I love the actual job. We wear steel-toed boots here at Legoland because we don't want to step on any Lego. Yeah, there's a funny joke that we always hear. Parents always come in all the time asking, how do do you step on them? I'm like, well, we do step on them, but we have shoes on here, so it doesn't hurt. Lego has passed the test of time because it's so diverse. It does everything. If you're mathematical, it's all math. You're counting everything. I don't have odd bricks, so I have to make odd out of one odd piece and even piece. It's all math. But it's all artistic also. Like, wait, I have to make a round object out of square brick. How do I do that? So it's left and right brain, and people that can do both love it even more. But it's also creative in a way where you can tell 10 different people build a duck, and you're gonna have 10 different ducks, but each duck is gonna look like a duck. So when we get a project or a building, the first thing to do is we have to know the size. We need the footprint. So what's that gonna be? Once we have that, then we have the basic idea of where to start from. How big is it gonna be, how tall is it gonna be, how creative is it gonna be. So depending on the model that we have is how we prep for that model. You can see behind me all the different shelves of colors and brick that we do have. They are sorted by piece. So that's what we standardly carry in the shop itself. We also have an entire warehouse in the back of the park. Lego now makes 62 colors. There's over 100 colors in the history, and there's over 17,000 elements that they make. Each color doesn't come in every piece, and every piece doesn't have every color. So you want to get down to the basics first. So the very most basic thing is you have plate and brick. 3 plates, as you can see right there, equals 1 brick. So that's the most basic thing that everyone should know or could know. That's the easiest thing to learn. So once you have that down, you could learn that 4 plates and a tile will actually be the exact math of 2 studs. And that is an example of our snotted. Snotted means that studs are not up top. So now you're viewing at that Lego from a side way instead of a direct up and down way. So once you know that 3 plates equal a brick and that 4 plates and a tile are 2 studs, you can get real complicated, and you can start building things like our snotted letters. And now our snotted letters, we can do the whole alphabet in numbers, and that's the most basic, smallest way you can do each letter. But if you look throughout Legoland Miniland, California, you will see all sorts of snotted and studs out and studs up signs out there, especially using this basic technique. So these are all considered elements. So you can see all these pieces have studs in the top, but also on the side. And once you have all the elements figured out, you have a whole nother group of amazing pieces, which could be anything in the world. We've got sloped, we've got angles, we've got wedges, we've got minifig accessories, we've got rounded pieces, we have the actual minifigs, boxes and containers, angles, supports, structures, designed pieces. The possibilities are endless, except for the limits of the actual colors in the piece, because remember, you never cut Lego and you never paint Lego. I think one of the greatest things about working here and the most fun is that it's never the same thing. There's many different paths a model could start on. It can be from higher ups, this is what we want here, this is exactly the size and the parameters that we want. And from there it might be, okay, you design it, or we're gonna have it designed by another team, and then you guys are gonna build it and install it. Sometimes it's, okay, we want something like this here, and what are your ideas? And we can 100% creativity go for it. Sometimes just walk around the park and look at something and say, wow, that needs a rehab. Let's go fix it up. And then we can either copy build it and just do exactly as is, or maybe like, oh, there's new colors, there's new parts, this is an older model. Let's redesign it, let's change the color, or make some new pieces, or make it a little more new age. So I am working on a brick-built Lego model. This one is a future project coming up, a Lego dinosaur. Brick-built means basically there's none of these specialty pieces and specialty elements. It's mostly just the brick and plate, and majority is gonna be studs up as you're building. So we start from the ground floor and go up. I am working off a file off of this one that was designed. We do it layer by layer. One of the things to remember is that if there's brick and plate, 3 plates equal 1 brick. So you could do every single layer to plate, but that'll take a lot of time. So we do it by brick if possible, and fill in the gaps with the plate to save time, save space and product. This particular dinosaur took about 2.5 days. Started earlier this week. It should take about a week, I'd say. So when he's finished, he'll be about that big. We have a system. We want to build the strongest possible models. They gotta withstand kids, elements, weather, animals. So we have a structure called north, south, east, west. So what that is every other layer changes. So One layer is gonna be east-west, one's gonna be north-south, and you wanna crisscross every single layer. We have to modify that, obviously. You can't do that every single piece perfectly, but we do that to the best you can do to make the strongest model. So while I'm looking at it and thinking about it, I'm like, okay, this way, this way, this way, this model can go this brick can go this way, this brick can go this way, and then okay, next layer, north and south. Okay, this can go this way, this can go this way, but that's gotta modify this way, and do you put a 2x plate first or two 1x plates? So literally every brick is a different situation, so you have to think about what's gonna be the quickest, strongest, best way to build the model. If you were to continually stack brick on top of each other, one direction, and just kind of get the best model you wanted, look really cool, and you have this really neat design, it's not gonna be all that strong because it could break in many different ways in different positions. But if you have stuff crisscrossed and now you have less seams going up, it'll be much, much stronger. So the less seams you have, the stronger your model is gonna be. Every single brick that we use is from a set. Once a month, we actually get an order list, an Excel sheet from Lego, and actually has every single line of every single color and every single part that they have. So that way, any model out there in the park could, in theory, be built by anybody in the public. So they could see it and they could build it. So it's nothing special, nothing made up specifically for us. It's all possibly with enough sets and enough money, then you can build any of these sets also. I love coming to work and just building. Thinking about it's great, and I like thinking about it also, but when I'm just building, I just zone out. I don't pay attention to anything. All I can think about is the numbers and the build, and let's do this, let's do that, and would this be a better way to do it? Would that be a better way? And I can go this way now or that way and add this or do this, and all of a sudden I know it, 8 hours went by, I'm like, oh, I can't go home yet. I'm not finished with the building yet. I want to keep building. And the second is just seeing the kids' reaction, like kids and families in general reaction to cool models. You see kids inspired and adults are in awe. They're like, wait, that's Lego? That's amazing. So it's really cool to see reactions when they come to the park. So our toolkit is pretty basic. It's our hands, because that's what we need to put everything together. We do have a rubber mallet, and that's for at the end of every level, making sure everything's hit down all the way proper. You can push down as much as you want with your hands, but you're always gonna miss a stud, so the hammer is key. And we do have a pair of special Lego pliers with little teeth at the end, and that way you could grab by the stud if you need to remove something much easier than you can with your fingers. And two homemade tools that we get to make is our stud and plate and brick counter. So stud one is studs up vertical, and it shows you the lengthwise how many studs it could be, but just by marking each different colored tile that you put on top. Or a plate and brick one, which is also studs up, but counts it vertically instead of horizontally. And that way you can say exactly how many bricks and plates it is. So when we're building a model and designing a model for the parks, we have to think about things like, do we want this to move? Do we want it to light up? Do we want any animation to it? We have an entire animation team that helps in that department alone. And so on top of just the team that builds the models, now we have the animation team that makes them move or makes them light up. But as far as movement and animation, that's up to us. Do we want this to move? Should this move? Can we make it move? What would be really cool? Do we need electric wire through it to light up? So our Legoland Miniland USA, if you go there at night, you can see all the lights turn on, you see all these buildings come to life and all the buildings light up. So it's really cool. The street lights come on and the car lights come on. So while we're building, we have to say, okay, do we need to have a wire run through this model? If we do, is there an easy way to do this? We need to build a channel for it. Is there a way to hold it in place so it doesn't fall? We don't want people to see the wire. So we have Lego techniques, or maybe we're using a Technic brick where a wire sits through it, or maybe like a loop, or maybe we can just zip tie it. So if you're walking around Legoland, California, and seeing all the models, realize that every single model has so much stuff inside of it also. There's a lot more than just what you're seeing. There's a lot of integrity inside. A lot more goes into it than just a Lego model. So to become a Legoland Master Model Builder is actually a really cool process. Before you even get to the interview, you have to go to an assessment. An assessment is where you actually have 3 builds where you competitively build for times and speeds. And you're not building sets like from the store. You're building models that previous Master Model Builders have built. My personal 3-dimensional object was actually this exact apple. Most of us had to build this apple. At the time, it took us a half hour. Now, as we've all been building here together for a while, we actually have fun competition to see who can build it faster. We've got our times down much lower. So I'm gonna do that right now with you and see how long it actually takes to build it.
And your time starts now.
Some of this is coming back to me because I kind of remember, but some of it, uh-oh, wait a minute. Messed up. It's okay to mess up because we all do it, and it's Lego, so it's always fixable, and that's part of the job. And finished. We don't normally get applause like that when we finish a model.
So how do you feel on your time on that?
10 minutes, not too bad. It's not my fastest time, but there's a lot of cameras on me right now. It's hard to envision doing anything else. I think about like, is someday in my career going to have to change? I'm going to have to do something different? I'm like, I hope not, because I don't want to. I'd like to keep doing this for as long as I can. Stay young at heart and have fun. We often have kids come in and say, how do we get to do this? How do I become a master model builder? And I tell them, keep building, don't stop building, have fun. Get a set, build it by the instructions, play with it. Take it all apart, mix it with all the brick, build something on your own, have fun. Don't just do one thing, just have fun with it. There's no limits to Lego. For me, it's just a giant hobby that I love doing every day. Legoland itself is an amazing place to work. Amazing coworkers, it's a fun environment all the time. We're in a room filled with Lego bricks and toys. Like we're having fun every day.